follow Walter Sports Bar on the Untapped app to get updates on the new beers brought in. Walter's 24 self-pour beer wall awaits you.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-Tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The tall right-hander Soroka fires and a drive deep left field. This is trouble. Call going back to the warning track. He leaps at the wall, can't make the catch. The ball off the top of the padding and into the bullpen for a home run. 2-0 Giants. Huff drove that one through the wind for his second homer of the year. Call's leaping attempt just came up shy.
Wood off second, the tying run with 2 out. Walker to the belt, the kick and the pitch. Swing and a pop-up. Shallow right. Coming in, the right fielder Yastrzemski now angling back to his left, makes the catch. And the game over. The Giants take the rubber match of this 3-game series.
And welcome to Nats Chat. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. Mark Zuckerman is off for this installment of the podcast. We hope that you're having a nice Memorial Day weekend. We on this Memorial Day, of course, remember those who have given their lives serving this country. We on this Memorial Day, of course, thank all of those who have served and are serving this country. And we on this Memorial Day mark the first of the 3 holiday checkpoints in the MLB season, with the other 2 being July 4th and Labor Day. You at a holiday checkpoint ask the question, so how's our team doing? And so to you, the Nationals fan, I ask, so how is our team doing? You can find us on X at Nats_chat. You can find us on Blue Sky at natschatpodcast. You can email us, natschatpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget, we have a website that you can check out, natschatpodcast.com, at which you can purchase a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. The Nats ended up losing 2 out of 3 games against the San Francisco Giants at Nationals Park Friday through Sunday. Sunday afternoon, a 3-2 loss to the Giants as former Nats pitching prospect Robbie Ray allowed 1 run in 6 innings with 7 strikeouts versus no walks. The Nats in MLB's 2025 regular season now are 24-29. This was not a good series for the Nats offense. The Nats over the 3 games totaled just 5 runs. The Nats over the 3 games went just 2 for 19 with runners in scoring position. And while the Nats over the 3 games did have 8 doubles, the Nats over the 3 games had just 1 home run. The homer came from James Wood. He in the 3-0 win over the Giants on Saturday as the Nats starting DH and number 3 batter went 1 for 4 with a 2-run homer. Wood in a Nats 2-run first had a 1-out 2-run homer to right field for a 2-0 Nats lead. And Wood in the 3-2 loss to the Giants on Sunday afternoon had an RBI double. He is the Nats starting DH and number 3 batter went 1 for 4 with an RBI double. Wood in a Nats 1-run ninth had a 1-out opposite field RBI double into the left center field gap to cut the Nats deficit to 3-2. Scoring on that double was C.J. Abrams. He on Sunday afternoon as the Nats starting shortstop and number 1 batter went 1 for 4 with a double. Did commit a fielding error, but Abrams in the Nats 1-run ninth had a leadoff opposite field double into left field. Abrams was the Nats starting shortstop and number 1 batter in all 3 games in the series. He in the series went just 1 for 12 with the double and no walks, but he at least did have that double. James Wood and C.J. Abrams remain the Nats' top 2 qualified players in OPS for this regular season. Wood is at 920. Abrams is at 883. James Wood was the Nats starting DH in each of the final 2 games of this series. As we are seeing less playing time for the man who had been the Nats' usual DH, Josh Bell, as he continues to struggle. Nats manager Davey Martinez on Sunday afternoon had Bell pinch hit for Amed Rosario with C.J. Abrams on second and no outs in the bottom of the ninth as the Giants pitcher was righty closer Ryan Walker, and Rosario does struggle against righties. But look, Bell right now is struggling against everyone. And he in this plate appearance had a first pitch flyout. That was painful. Bell being used as a pinch hitter for Rosario, who's having a good season, and then having a first pitch flyout. Josh Bell for this regular season now has an OPS of just .546. Here was Davey Martinez during his postgame press conference on Sunday afternoon on pinch hitting Josh Bell for Amed Rosario.
I like the matchup right there, and then again, he just missed that ball too. He hit the ball hard. I mean, it was in the air to left, but he stood on it really well. And I said this before: we get him going. I mean, he's a difference maker for our lineup, and we got to get him going. So, but I like the matchup right there. This guy, he's really tough on righties. So Bell had a crack at it.
All right, I get the idea of wanting to get Josh Bell going, and we know that he is notoriously streaky, and we know that if he gets going, he can get going in a beautiful way. But at what point do we say that there is no getting him going? The Nats this past January 5th officially announced having agreed with Josh Bell as a free agent on a one-year contract. The contract is a one-year deal worth a reported $6 million. This season is his age 32 season. Bell was with the Nats for 1+ seasons. So the Nats on Christmas Eve 2020 acquired Bell via trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So the Nats on August 2nd, 2022, what was 2022 MLB trade deadline day, traded Bell and outfielder Juan Soto to the San Diego Padres in the mega trade for 6 players, including 5 prospects. Bell, in his first stint with the Nats, was good. He over 247 regular season games with the Nats, accumulated 6.4 wins above replacement per Baseball Reference. But Bell, since that initial stint with the Nats, had played for the Padres, Cleveland Guardians, Miami Marlins, and Arizona Diamondbacks over the 2022, 2023, and 2024 regular seasons. He over 348 regular season games with those teams, accumulated minus 1.2 wins above replacement per Baseball Reference. Bell, since that first stint with the Nats, has been a below replacement level player. So this notion of him struggling right now, not being what he truly is, well, unfortunately, recent history would say that this is exactly who he is. You could always reach me on X at Al Galdi. On Sunday afternoon, got this from Paul F. on X. Wrote Paul, Davey choosing Bell in the 9th should be even more proof that Davey's the problem on this team. He keeps sending out the same lackluster players and expects different results each time. Definition of insanity. Thank you for that, Paul. I hear you, man. I do. Rough games for Dalen Lyle and Robert Hassell III in this 3-2 loss to the Giants on Sunday afternoon. Lyle, as the Nats starting right fielder and number 6 batter, went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Hassell, as the Nats starting center fielder and number 9 batter, went 0 for 3. And while we're talking Nats outfielders, some spotty outfield defense by the Nats in this 3-2 loss to the Giants on Sunday afternoon. Michael Soroka was the Nats starting pitcher. He allowed 3 runs in 6 innings. He gave up 5 hits, which were a home run, a triple, a double, and 2 singles. He issued a walk and a hit by pitch. He recorded 2 strikeouts. He threw a lot of strikes, 91 pitches, 59 strikes, just 32 balls. Soroka in the top of the 3rd allowed 2 runs on a leadoff homer by the Giants' number 9 batter, Sam Huff, to left field, and then a triple by Mike Yastrzemski off the right center field wall on a deep fly ball on which center fielder Robert Hassell III failed in an attempt at a leaping backhanded catch, and Yastrzemski scored on an RBI ground out by Elliot Ramos. And then Soroka later in the inning gave up a 2-out double by Wilmer Flores on a line drive on which left fielder Alex Call whiffed in an attempt at a sliding forward catch. So some disappointing outfield defense by the Nats in that top of the 3rd. Here was Davey Martinez during his postgame press conference on Sunday afternoon on those plays by Hassell and Cole in that Giants 2-run 3rd.
Yeah, I think they both lost the ball in the sun. I haven't really looked, but I think Hassell missed time to jump because I think the ball got in the sun on him a little bit. And then same thing with Call. The ball, I think he might have lost the ball in the stands, actually. So I'll go back and look at it and talk to him about it. Just kind of, I want those guys to forget about that play and get to the next one. But we'll see what happens.
So you always have to be careful with the defensive metrics in baseball, and they are best utilized over large sample sizes. But as we now are approaching the Nats being a 1/3 of the way into their regular season here, it is worth noting that the Nats are not rating well defensively. The Nats for this regular season, as of games through Saturday, were number 25 out of 30 major league teams in Fielding Bible's defensive runs saved, minus 16. And we're number 29 out of 30 major league teams in StatCast outs above average, minus 15. For all of the talk about the Nats potentially being good defensively, and my hope for the Nats this season was that they would be much improved defensively, they are not good defensively. They are not much improved defensively. And by the way, how about the fact that a guy named Sam Huff plays for the Giants. Of course, legendary former Redskins linebacker and former Skins radio analyst Sam Huff, he played for the New York Giants, and the San Francisco Giants have a catcher named Sam Huff. What are the odds? Hey, it's Al Galdi for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you'll be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During Window Nation's semi-annual sale, buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment, especially when prices are rising. So how exactly does Window Nation keep prices affordable? Well, Window Nation works directly with the top window manufacturers in the country, which means all of Window Nation's windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, Window Nation windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends on May 31st. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION or windownation.com, and tell Window Nation that Al Galdi from the Natch Chat podcast sent you.
Life as a small business owner, everything is your problem and there aren't enough hours in the day. That's where LinkedIn Jobs, and by proxy Natch Chat, are here to help. For those crucial hires that you absolutely can't whiff on, turn to LinkedIn Jobs. Simply post your job and LinkedIn will take it from there, making sure it gets in front of the properly qualified candidates who are searching themselves. Find out why more than 2.5 million small business owners have turned to LinkedIn Jobs to grow their staff. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/natschat. That's linkedin.com/natschat to post your jobs for free. linkedin.com/natschat. Terms and conditions apply.
Only one ball thrown out of the zone so far. Breaking ball, hit in the air to left field toward the line. Alex Cole is on the run. Coming in, he dives in foul territory and makes a backhanded catch on the warning track for the outs. Nationals flashing the leather in the first inning, and they've been doing it all weekend long.
I thought that Michael Soroka overall pitched pretty well on Sunday afternoon, as the Nats starting pitching in this series was good. The 4-0 loss to the Giants on Friday evening, Mackenzie Gore officially allowed 1 run in 6 innings with 9 strikeouts. He gave up just 2 hits, each of which was a single. He officially issued 3 walks, though one was completed with him out of the game as he left the game due to his left leg tightening up of having been hit by a comebacker earlier in the game. Gore threw 91 pitches, 54 strikes, 37 balls, and the 3-0 win over the Giants on Saturday. Jake Irvin, 8 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts, gave up just 3 hits, all of which were singles, issued 2 walks, threw a lot of strikes, 96 pitches, 64 strikes, 32 balls. Did commit a fielding error in the top of the 4th, but Gore, Friday evening, very good. Irvin, Saturday, very good. You know, the Nats for this regular season, as of games through Saturday, were number 10 in the majors in starting pitching wins above replacement per Fangraphs at 4.6. Gore and Irvin are 2 of the biggest reasons for that, and I do think that we are seeing more good than bad from Michael Soroka so far. This ended up being a pretty good series for the Nats bullpen off a shaky start to the series. The 4-0 loss to the Giants on Friday evening. 3 Nats relievers officially combined to allow 3 runs in 3 innings. But the 3-0 win over the Giants on Saturday, Jorge Lopez tossed a perfect top of the 9th for the save as closer Kyle Finnegan is dealing with shoulder fatigue. And the 3-2 loss to the Giants on Sunday afternoon, 2 Nats relievers combined for 3 scoreless innings. So Brad Lord tossed 2 scoreless innings with 2 strikeouts, and Cole Henry tossed a perfect top of the 9th. Henry continues to kill it as a reliever. The Nats on April 13th recalled Henry from AAA Rochester. He since then has the following stats: 16 games, 18 and a third innings, ERA of 2.45, whip of 0.86. .87, and all of this would be even better if not for one bad outing, him allowing 5 runs in 1 inning in a 19-5 loss to the New York Mets at Nationals Park on April 28th. No game for the Nats on Monday. Yeah, no game for the Nats on Memorial Day. Next up for them is a 6-game trip out west, beginning with a 3-game series at the Seattle Mariners. Game 1 Tuesday night at 9:40. Mitchell Parker will be the Nats starting pitcher. Game 2 Wednesday night at 9:40. Trevor Williams will be the Nats starting pitcher. Game 3 Thursday night at 9:40. Mackenzie Gore will be the Nats starting pitcher. You can always email us, natschatpodcast@gmail.com. We got this email from Jair. Writes Jair, the Nats playing better lately, combined with the young players doing well, begs the question, when was the last time that the team was this exciting? Suffering through the rebuild has been tough, but is there a light that I see at the end of the tunnel? Go Nats. Thank you for the email, Jair. Yes, I think that there is excitement with the Nats right now. The problem is that the 1-loss record does not reflect that excitement. And this is a season in which wins and losses matter for the first time in a long time. Wins and losses, truth be told, did not matter so much over the last few seasons as the Nats were going through the rebuild. But as it is time for the Nats to bust out of this rebuild, wins and losses do matter. And so I think there's only so far you can go with the excitement when the record nearly a third of the way into the regular season is just 24-29. And it's not just that. The run differential isn't very good. The run differential is at -48. But yes, as we have discussed on the podcast, there is legitimate reason for excitement. When you look at the seasons being authored by James Wood and C.J. Abrams and Mackenzie Gore and Jake Irvin, and you think about what could be with some of these recent call-ups in Dalen Lyle and Robert Hassell III, and you think about what could be with someone like a Cole Henry, who, as we just discussed, is killing it right now as a reliever. But there's no question that while, yes, there is this excitement, the excitement needs to translate into wins. It is time for wins to be attained. And I do think the Nats are capable of having this thing translate into wins. But what is needed here is a surge. And we talked about this on the last installment of the podcast. It is the case that the Nats have not had a true surge since June 2021. That is a long time ago. It is time for the Nats to have one of those surges. And I do think that this team is more than capable of having one of those surges. I wouldn't be stunned if we saw one of those surges over the next month or so. But something like that needs to happen here. The Nats need to get above 500 and need to make this season truly interesting from a postseason contention standpoint. I don't think this season is playoffs or bust, but I do think that this season is playoff contention or bust. The Nats need to be in the mix for making the playoffs as this season goes on. Otherwise, I think you have to ask some really tough questions about where exactly we are with this rebuild. But yes, be excited. I think there is legitimate reason here for excitement. Keep the feedback coming. Hit us up on X at Nats_chat. Hit us up on Blue Sky at natschatpodcast. And as I said, you can email us, natschatpodcast@gmail.com. You on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify can both rate the podcast and write reviews. 5-star ratings are greatly appreciated. Positive reviews are greatly appreciated. I know these things may sound silly, but they help out the podcast a lot. Thank you very much for doing them. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. I'm Al Galdi. Have a great rest of your Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
Sam Huff was a coal miner's son from West Virginia. He was drafted by New York in 1956 as a defensive lineman. But when assistant coach Tom Landry installed the revolutionary 4-3 defense, he made Huff its anchor at middle linebacker.
As long as I played football, I always played from what you call a three-point stance. You're always down, and you always saw one person. And all of a sudden, Tom Landry says, why don't you try middle linebacker? And I'm standing up. Now I can see everything. It was such a beautiful thing for me. It was like I was born to play it.